Looking to take control in Modern? Then call your shot with 8-Rack. To corner your opponent with mono-black control. The 8-Rack deck, or mono-black control, is super dirty control, using discard as a way to effectively counter spells before your opponent even has a chance to cast them. The deck is built around 3 cards: Liliana of the Veil, the Rack, and Shrieking Affliction. The rest of the deck is more or less discard spells, everything from Thoughtseize and Inquisition to Mind Wrench and Raven's Crime, which all gets your opponent's hand down to 0 and then for them to take massive damage each turn. This deck has some really cheap budget options, $30 cheap, that don't sacrifice much in the way of the deck's competitive viability. Let's look at a typical build, then discuss some variations in budget options. Check the description of this video for links to the deck lists. Remember, I am showing basic, solid builds, templates. The fine-tuning is done by you over time, and typically in collaboration with others. Liliana of the Veil is easily one of the most powerful non-banned planeswalkers in this game. She's the queen of control, pitching cards and forcing your opponents to sacrifice creatures as you need her to. She's also the most expensive component at about $60 each as of the filming of this video. Luckily, she's a prime target for reprinting very soon. Fingers crossed. And even with a future reprint, I doubt very much that investing money into her will ever result in a significant financial loss. In addition, she's also got a few budget alternatives that I'll mention in a moment. If you're okay with white borders, you can buy the Rack at only $1 each from 4th edition. Feeling fancy and want black borders? That'll bring them up to $3 to $4 each. Shrieking Affliction is a Ravnica uncommon. Grab an entire playset for $1 to $2. Ensnaring Bridge is another costly piece at $20. It's very important to the deck because it shuts your opponent's creatures down. You're not holding on to a hand for long with 8-Rack, so Ensnaring Bridge quickly translates to opponent's creatures can't attack. This is another card in desperate need of a reprint. Now, I hope you've already taken advantage of Theros to get your playset of Thoughtseize, a must-have for just about any black control deck in just about any format. Currently going for a little under $20, this has a strong chance of climbing back up over time. Luckily, there are easy budget alternatives. Inquisition benefited greatly from its recent reprinting in the Modern Event deck, and now can be had for just about $6 each. This is another card with some clever budget alternatives, and the rest is pretty cheap. Raven's Crime has a clever little combo with Dakmor Salvage. If needed, you can discard Dakmor to retrace Raven's Crime, and then dredge Dakmor back to your hand each turn. Raven's Crime, Dakmor Salvage, and the rest of the deck can be had for very little. There's so much in the way of removal options for black. What you end up putting together is going to be highly reflective of both your meta and your budget. From more expensive removal like Slaughter Pact to Bile Blight and Doomblade or even Hero's Downfall, you can customize the removal as your deck needs it. Before I talk budget, there's been some recently printed cards that are becoming very popular in this deck. Pack Rat, hot off a standard dominance, is proving a nice addition, and many people run 3 to 4 along with a playset of Mutavaults. Although Pack Rat is only $2 to $3 at the moment, the Mutavaults are a costly addition, but they've become such a must-have playset in general that you might already have them. If you don't, you might want to look for a way to get them. With a little luck, they'll drop down in price after rotation, but if they do, don't count on them staying down. If this happens, get a playset together fast, and consider holding on to yours if you've already got them. Due to how new Waste Not is, it's hard to say whether this will ever own a permanent place in the deck, but it's definitely something a lot of people are playing around with, myself included. I have high hopes this will become a main board must, but only time will tell. Alright, the best way to budget this deck is replacing any Lilianas that you are missing with Necrogen Mists. The card cost is super low at only 50 cents each, and its enchantment effect is almost identical to Liliana's +1. I've even seen some builds run a few copies of these in addition to a playset of Lilianas. At 50 cents each, there's no reason not to add a playset to your library. Thoughtseize can be replaced with Duress, and while not an ideal substitute, it allows for budget play. After all, so much is being discarded by your opponent that Duress should still get the job done. As for Inquisition, there's the budget option of Blackmail, a highly underrated card. By turn 2 or 3, your opponent is ideally already down to 3 to 4 cards in hand. And the fact that Blackmail allows for the discarding of land is another reason I think this is a hidden gem in black. At $1.50 each, I'd put a playset in my binder just because there's such a strong chance that this will eventually take off in price. What about Ensnaring Bridge? Well, there's several options that are nowhere near as close to it. There's a lot of discussion going on about this at the moment, but my best recommendation is either for added removal, or to possibly go for Pack Rats for defense, even if you lack the Mutavaults. But what I love about the budget version is that it is 90% of the full version. So for only about $30, you have the majority of a great modern deck. Don't like it? You're not out much money. Love it? Then you can build up towards the full version, trading up for Lilianas and Ensnaring Bridges as you go. And if you look around, there's so many options for other builds, from versions running Bitter Blossom and Bob to Orzhov colors of white and black. We just found out that Standard is going to start rotating even more often than it already does. And that's likely going to translate to an even more expensive overall long-term cost. Take control. Call your shot in Modern with 8-Rack. I hope this video has been of some help to you. Don't forget to see other affordable Modern options in Mono Blue, Mono Red, Mono White, and Mono Green. Fetch lands? Where we're going, we don't need fetch lands.